Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Lui Nishman Zara Biak Shom Lea Basitzchok. We're holding in Avoda Zara Daf Lamed. We got the Daf Lamed Amud Aleph. We're going to be starting actually from Daf Chotes Amud Beis, the two dots. Where we stopped yesterday was the two dots of Chotes Amud Beis, about 10 lines from the bottom. The more said over there, HaChoyvitz Shal Kechovim Shem Mitchilos Yain. But we mentioned, just to mention this, we said that we're going to talk when we start the Shir, to bring the Nikud that we're sure you talk about, Yechezkel and others. They ask, what is really the reason that we are oyser a wine of a goy? Well, why are we born oyser a wine of a goy? Is it because of yain nesech, or because of gzeir mishum b'noiseyim? You don't want people to marry their daughters. So Yechezkel says it's both. Yechezkel says the main reason is because of b'noiseyim. That's the main reason. But when you have they want to be oyster ba'ano, because that's what they call the yain nesach. But the main reason is because of nisei. Other Rishonim in the Ran, he says no. The main reason is because of yain nesach. That's the main reason. And there's a kaminas between Yechezkel and the Ran. What is the main? Are we treating wine of a goy like yain nesach? That's the main thing, or no? It's just exer d'Abanan. Do we give it chumrus of yain nesach, son of kaminas? So that's just maybe included to know. As we're going to go forward, we speak about the wine of a goy. Now the Mishnah said that choymetz, it used to be wine, and then it got spoiled, so it's still usher. So what's the chiddush? It was wine. Once it was wine, it became usher. If you have vinegar, there's already vinegar. When Yisrael gave it to him, so he can be a little bit more lenient. We're going to learn later that when you have wine or meat that you give to a goy, you need to have a choysa with a choysa. You have to have a double stempel in order to make sure that the goy did not switch it. But if you talk about choymetz, it's already vinegar, so then you don't have to have a double stempel. One stempel is enough. Why? Because we're more lenient. Because we said the only problem is wine. Something which is already, and wine that turned to be choymetz by a goy. But when it came to the goy was a choymetz, then there's no problem.
What do you mean one seal for it all?
So you have to have some archakot because they still could switch it. Okay. So it says the Gemara. Because you don't do nisuch with wine, be with choymetz. That's what the Gemara is going to say. Maybe you switch it. He's not going to go. It's a little bit of a headache to take something that has a seal, has a stempel, and switch it, because you have to make a new stempel. So because we're talking about something which is a little bit more difficult, if it's open, you can switch it. He's going to switch it, he doesn't care. But if it's not open and needs to come and do something, so you have to have so that's what the chosab is a minimal security that you won't switch it.
The second seal.
One seal. Yes, I have only one seal by a choymetz. Only one chosab. Similar to what we spoke about choymetz, we speak about cooked wine. Yain mevushel. So it used to be wine, and then they cooked it, it's asur. Pshita, of course. It was already wine. So the Gemara, because you cooked it, the Yisur went away. If we have cooked wine by us, we don't have a problem with why? Because of nisuch, we're not choshir because they don't do nisuch on mevushel, as we see over here, that only because it was wine, but if it's already mevushel, so not. So the problem by this case is maybe he's going to switch it. So when you know he didn't switch it, you talk about he took the bottle of wine, and you know what it is, and it's closed, so that's fine. But if you have chashash, so then you have a problem. Maybe he put in his own wine. So they want to talk about yain mevushol ve'aluinosi shel asur. They're asur because they started as wine. So while aluinosi is kevriyoso muteris. So stam aluinosi muteris. What does it mean? That he took it. The Rashi explains it wasn't wine by the goy, but he took it already finished. He took it already ready. The alunosis. And the more explains ve'izu alunosis. What is alunosis? On Shabbos you could do anumolim but not alunosis. What's the difference? Anumalim is yain vidvash upilpalim. Wine, honey, and pepper. Alunasis is yain yashon umayin tzluim v'afarsimon. It's old wine and water and a farsimon, which is like a good smelling fruit. The avdil susu, you make it for the bathhouse, and that's why because it's considered to be like a refuah, and therefore you can't do it on Shabbos because you don't do refuah on Shabbos. What do you see over here? That alunasis is when you have wine mixture in it. So what is the chiddush? Because once it's already a mixture, it's not a problem. It's only a problem. He only does nisuch yayin when it's wine itself. When you have over here a mixture, he doesn't do a nisuch. That's okay. That's where Rashi goes. Taisus learns that Taisus learns a little differently. We talk about because Taisus learns that the way they did it, the alunosis means he takes. Rashi learns that he didn't do the wine himself. Taisus learns alunosis is there's the mixture that you pour wine and add to it. So if you have alunosis atzah without the wine, it's mutter. There's no chash. If you have already the wine, it is a problem. So according to Rashi, if it's even with the wine, it's okay because if the guy received that as a mixture, because the nisuch he does only with wine, pure wine, not wine that's mixed with something else. So he disagrees with that. He says it's still a problem. So he says the only thing is if you don't have wine at all. Says the Gemara, so now we shift. This daf shifts now because there's some things that we have halachas that are similar. So that's what we're shifting now into gilui. What's gilui? Gilui is when you have something which is uncovered. There's a chashash that maybe a snake came and put venom into it. And it's clear by the Gemara, we'll see also a little later, that the snake over here is a very tiny snake. It's to have a worm that maybe was categorized as snake, which is not really a full snake that we call a snake. So he passed by, Baruch Hashem, with no damage. Daf Lamed Amud Aleph.
What's that?
Daf Lamed Amud Aleph about 10 less than that.
The man after me, it's a one snake. If it's poison, it's poison.
Yeah. Gilu is a problem in any case. Now, so we talk about different types of wines regarding a goy. We talk about different types of wine regarding a gilu. If you have a mozug wine, what's a mozug wine? Diluted with water. There's no problem with gilu. The snake doesn't eat it, doesn't drink it. If it's cooked, you're about nisuch. So we mentioned yain. We have yain mevushol legabe yain nesach. We have yain mozug legabe gilui. What about yain mevushol legabe gilui? Toshma yidi Rabbi Yaakov yidi el yain mevushol she'ein mishul gilui. He said there's no gilui either. Rav Yana bar Shmuel Cholash became sick. All legabe Rabbi Shmuel bar Zirud v'Rabban l'shlui b'edicated, but he asked to visit him. He asked the following question: yain mevushol yesh mishul gilui yain mishul gilui. If I have cooked wine, is there a problem with gilui that the snake drinks or not? Rabbi Shmuel bar Zirud achi Omar Rashir ben Loki mishul gaver rabo umanu Reb Chio yain mevushol ein mishul gilui. Rings from Chio, the yain mevushol is not gilui, snake doesn't drink it. Omalei nismach. Can we rely on it? Should we rely on this? Mach v'lehu Rabbi Yana bar Yishmael, who was very sick in bed and couldn't talk, seemingly, he showed him a sign, alive out savari. It's on me and on my neck. You can rely. It's 100% reliable. The yain mevushol, there's no problem with gilui. Shmuel the Avlet Abu Yasri. The Avlet is a goy. Shmuel is sitting with Avlet the goy. Aisu kamayu chamro mevashlo. So they gave him, they brought in front of him cooked wine. Mashche leyodo, according to the Girso, we have here Mashche Avlet yodo. Avlet was a goy, but he knew the halachas. So he took away his hand. You know, I know if I touch the wine, it's a problem. Shmuel says, don't worry about it. It's yain mevushol. Yain mevushol yain nesach, like we thought. That's what we do today. We allow yain mevushol in the house. If a guy touches it, or we have in a simcha, because yain mevushol is no problem with yain nesach. So that's what he told Avlet. There is a interesting discussion over here. How did Shmuel sit and drink with Avlet? Even though maybe it's yain nesach, but still you're sitting and drinking with him. Okay.
So what's the term?
So maybe it was the tzoyrech, different answers. I wanted to be moving this question more than the answer. So the maid servant of Rav Chio, she had this yain mevushal, which it opened up. No problem. The yain mevushal is no gil. Another Shami de Avoda Baravo, the Shamish Avoda Baravo, Iglele Chamro Miziko. There was a yain mazuk, which means the diluted wine was megule. Amalei Arom yain mazuk gave mishu gili. So the yain mazuk, there's no problem gili. So all this we bring as stories, right? Always Meiser Rav is greater than the actual halacha. We want to bring the actual, that's why they pass in this way, to the halacha Meiser. When I say diluted wine is not a problem of gilu, is only if it's if it's diluted very much. If it's not so diluted, shoti. So then the snake does drink from it. And then it's a problem of gilu. Does he really actually drink for it? Rav Avuna is going in a boat. He had wine with him. He sees the snake, I don't know what the right word in English is, but he is crawling towards them. He tells the Shamish,
He was
in the boat. Take away his eye, meaning remove his desire for the wine. Take a little bit of water, like a small water, and put it into the wine. So the snake turned around and left. So what do you see? The snake is not interested in wine that has water in it. Even a little bit. You just put a little bit of water. So why you said it has to be mozik tuvo? It says in Gemara, Achayo mosa nafshei, amazigo loy mosa nafshei. Something like this. He does drink when it's not fully diluted, only partially diluted. So he goes ahead, he does drink it. The snake drinks it. But he's not going to be mosa nefesh for it. So you have your people standing. If the snake comes, they may kill him. So the snake is not going to take the risk of starting up the human beings if it has a little water. But if it's megula, it's open up in the room and nobody's there, he will drink from it. But unless it's very diluted.
Excuse me, but if he's thirsty, he's going to take a chance. If he's not thirsty, he doesn't have to.
So we have a thing over here, it seems over here that by a snake, the whole idea of gilui by wine is not because of thirst. There's a special type that the snake has to wine. Not because he could be he has enough water. We have to talk about it here wine. There is a gilui also by water. There's a gilui also my gilui. We're talking here specifically by yain. By yain, there's a special thing that a snake wants to drink wine. So the Gemara says, if it's a mozuk, it's not mozuk nafshei. Or is in this place called Be'achburi. So they're drinking this diluted wine. There was a little wine left. By the way, in the Girsa over here, there's someone to say that it wasn't wine meziko. It's yain lo meziko. We'll see in a moment why it's a little problem to say meziko. So we're talking about, let's assume for now, we use the Girsa, it was just regular wine. The wine was not diluted. We're drinking the wine. They had a little bit wine left. They covered it with a little bit of a sheet in order to shtab megula. They saw that snake. They shokil mayo, taking water with him. They putting into that little bucket. Meaning the snake wanted the wine, but he couldn't reach the wine. The wine was in this bucket, and the bucket was covered. What did he do? He was able to put water into the bucket.
Through the cover?
Without, probably there was some small hole. Okay. He was able to put water in the bucket. The water filled the bucket till the end, and the wine, which was like a tap, the wine was spilled, like overflew, spilled, and I was able to drink the wine. Right?
Smart snake.
So you see over here that this snake, for the smart snake, I don't understand exactly what if it means literally, that's what it means. That's what the Gemara brings. So you see, he drank, which was very diluted. It was 90% water. Says the Gemara, Amari the mozik iu shosi. If he, Amri the mozik iu shosi. Whatever he diluted, he drinks. He's the one who put the water. But if other people put the water, he's not interested. Interesting. This is something he needs more of. He says, he give me all kinds of answers. It's a karas nefashos. If the snake drank from it, so then there's a problem over here of eris, of venom.
If it drank from it, or if you think it drank.
Or he drank from it. So, in other words, You want to give me all kinds of different answers, right? You're saying, we're not relying on these answers. You want to say answers. Well, it depends. If you did a lot of water, it's okay. Less water, not. If the Nachash did it, it's okay. I'm not taking the risk. I saw Nachash drinking wine with a lot of water. I'm just not going to drink any wine that has a lot of water. And this is what brought down the Rishonim where to bring it, the idea, the Chamir to Sakanta Misura. By Yisurim, we do go based on answers. Everything? You have a question. I have an answer. So we remat your answer. I have a question. I have a shaila, a sfekis. I don't know what to do. I go based on what the halach is. By Sakanta, I don't take risks. Sakana, Chamir to Sakanta Misura. It does, even though it's diluted, there is a problem of gilui, as Ramashashio said. Even though it's diluted, it's still yain nesach. That's what we know today. If you have wine today, which is not mevushal, so the problem with the guy, yain mevushal ain't mishum gilui, ain't mishum yain nesach. But if it's cooked, so then you don't have not the problem of gilui and not the problem of a guy. So the shamish of Chil Betuvi, there was a little bit of water that was revealed. They have a naim gabo, and he was sleeping next to it. Also coming to Chil Betuvi, he came in front of his Rebbe, he was the shamish there. So we say that even when the person is sleeping, the snake is still afraid. That's only in the day. But in the night, not. So the Gemara is said, no, we don't rely on Emes Yoshin. If a person is around the water, the wine, we're not choishish to gilu. If he's still there, he sees it. He's going to see the snake. But if he fell asleep, we're choishish snake came. And don't say that they're afraid of the sleeping person.
What about places where there are no snakes?
Oh, so that's another thing. That's a place that's not here. We'll get to, do we have gilui today or not? Tosis brings, I forgot where it is. Tosis says that today we're not choishish to gilui. Because we don't have snakes amongst us. That's what Tosis brings. Right now we're talking with the Gemara, and the Shilas is replied to the night. It's a discussion in the Rishonim. Rav Loi Shosi Mibei Aramo. He did not drink, right, anything for Bei Aramo from a house of a goy. Right? Omer Lazir Bigilui. So they're not zoyer, they're not careful with gilui, with water. It may be that this was open the whole night. But from the house of our mono, meaning even though she's not so familiar with all the halachas in the inyanim of gilui, but he did drink. He says whatever she used to do when the husband was alive, she continued doing. So the husband probably told her, don't leave water open. And she continued doing that, even though maybe she didn't learn it so well. He did not drink from the house, water from the house of Almana. She doesn't have her husband, so she's not afraid anymore. Usually the husband tells her, cover the water. She's on her own, so she leaves it open. But he did drink from a goy, water. Why? Either Gilui Lakamte, they're not careful about Gilui in the Choshin, they're not careful about that. They are careful about dirt. They want clean water. If the water is open the whole night, it gets dirty. Ikidam, yourself say, Rav Shosi might be Aramol, and Aramalosa Shosi, as we said before. Shmuel Shosi might be Aramol, so he did not drink neither. Not a guy, and not a almana. So we have different cheetahs over here regarding this. There's 3 types of wine. There's 3 wines that don't have a problem of gilu, they're revealed. What is the 3? Chad, Mar, and Mosek. These are the 3. What is it? Chad is Tilo, Charifo, Dimitri Ziki. What is that? So as Rashi says, it's very strong. It's very very sharp, and it's not so. The taste is not so good.
It's sweet.
It's like almost like vinegar, and it breaks the barrel. It's basically like almost like it's something that it ruins the barrel. Acid. Like acid. That's what we were talking about. Mar, bitter, is Irakino. Irakino means that's the bitter one. And Mosoik is chulyo. Chulyo is when it's too sunny and it makes it too sweet. So it's all these three talking about ruined wine. Wines are not good. He says no. That we're talking about the opposite, the better wines. These three examples that we more mentioned, Chad, Mar, and Mosoik, we talk about bad wines. It says good wines. Chad, we talk about Chamar upilpilim. It's wine together with pepper. Mar is absinthe. Rashi says called olishno belaz. I don't know what the article does over there. Olishno. Type of wine which is sour but is good. And Mosoik is made bark. Right? It's a good sweet wine. So these three wines are very good wines, and the steak is not interested in them. He likes more the simple ones.
Doesn't like sweet.
Carino ain't mishum gilui. By Carino, there's no gilui. Now, my Carino, what is Carino? So, that's the sweet wine that comes from Asya. That's only when you import it from a different place. So the steak is not familiar with this taste, he's not interested. But in the place where they come from, there the steaks are familiar, and they like that wine. That's the local wine. They like it. Huh? Yeah. Oh, sorry. The shear is the Lui Nishmas. Sosia bat Tordus. Tordus with tonight is going to be the Yortzeit. Shon Shrav Aliyah. Omar Rabbi Chamo de Akrim. It means it got spoiled, right? It became like spoiled in a bad way. For 3 days, the snake still drinks from it. And also within 3 days, the goy may still use it. With the flower on the base. Afterwards, after 3 days, it's so bad, the snake doesn't drink it, or the goy is not interested in putting it in front of the Zara. Even after 3 days, sometimes the snake is, he's stopping mamut, he takes the wine even though it's all spoiled. Says the word Torah boni yain toises. Toises means when you have a new wine, the wine boils, right? So or it bubbles. So yain toises emu shugilui. The kabbat says so how long is that? Gimel yom. 3 days once you do the wine. Hashcholim, which is translation crest. Gimel hashcholim emu shugilui. There's no gilui. V'nigoyel no gubim yisur. Still the v'nigoyel we know yisur over there as well. It says no vinegar in there. The chalo starts up with the chashuv. In other words, it makes them sick. They're not interested in it. Koita chabavli, which is very strong like vinegar. Even if we said it's not gilui, that's only if you don't see pieces of it. But if you see that something bit from it, then you chayshish it may be a steak. When you have something dripping, bloop, bloop, bloop down, why? Why not? Because the snake is scared with the noise. He's doing it like right one after each other, with not and it's bothering the snake. He runs away. The opening of the tail, you remove the fig from the tree, has a little bit of a opening there. We're not chayshish to gilui. You can drink grapes and figs at night. You're not chayshish for snake. Hashem usually is used to tell me that there is a problem, but we're saying HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Here the Gemara brings it to say that we're relying on that the snake probably did not put his venom there. There's 3 types of venoms. The younger snake, his venom is heavier and it goes down to the bottom of the kli when you have water. Middle-aged snake, it floats in the middle. And the zaken, the old snake, his venom floats on top. They want to tell me the older the snake, the weaker it is. That's why the venom becomes lighter and lighter. There's 3. The older they get, they become stronger. Dag, fish, nochosh, snake, v'chazir. So it's they're getting stronger, but the venom gets lighter. The Chaseva brings These three things to tell you three that the more they get older, or the more the process goes on, the midas sadin is stronger in them. So dag refers to the tzaddikim, because the tzaddikim, the more midas sadin, less rachamim, they're living in midas sadin. And then you have the chazi is referring to edoim, and the nochash refers, I believe, to rishoyim. So anyway, it says the Gemara, so what I'm telling you is that the younger snake, his venom goes down to, like what I'm trying to tell you, the tanya chavichi is gal. They have a barrel that was revealed. Even though 9 drank from it, nothing happened to them. Don't let the 10th person drink from the barrel. Why? 9 people drank, did not die. Why? Because the venoms can be, it depends on the age of the snake. The venom can be in the middle, can be in the top, can be in the bottom. So you never know where the venom is. The fact that someone drank it and didn't die doesn't mean there's no venom. That's the idea there. That was the venom that did go down to the bottom of the barrel. Today's day means watermelon. Top of a melon, she's gala. Even though 9 people ate from it, why? Because maybe the venom went down to the bottom. 9 drank it, did not die, and 1 did. That is the shakea, because that means tell me that's the venom that goes down. It's the young sting that goes down, and that's what happens many times with the venom. And we have different types of venom. The Gemara tells us to know how to deal with them. So we'll stop over here. This is Shabbat Shabbos. We're going to start the daf from here, going into the next Talmud. Call to Rabbi Isai. Have a wonderful Shabbos.